Mr. Speaker, contained in this rule are two immigration bills, one of which Congress already passed, another of which directs the administration to do something they already have the power to do. There's a non-binding resolution here to condemn rioting. We had an interesting conversation in the Rules Committee last night, and I don't remember Republicans offering a non-binding resolution to condemn the riots that occurred outside this building on January 6, 2021. We can't even get the Speaker of the House to hang the plaque expressing gratitude to the law enforcement officers who protected us that day that a law says he has to hang. So please forgive me if I think this one rings a bit hollow. And then we have an appropriations bill that continues this trend towards privatizing VA services and blocks women who are veterans from being able to get abortion services at the VA in most cases. Republicans are trying to restrict the freedoms of the people who are willing to fight and die for our freedoms. You guys are unbelievable. I'm glad that we are here on the floor debating, Mr. Speaker. I just don't think we're debating what 90% of Americans want us to be talking about right now, which is the chaos and confusion that this administration has created and the fear, real fear, that Americans have about this country being dragged into another quagmire in the Middle East. The bottom line is that this administration is acting insane. The President yesterday said there was going to be a ceasefire forever between Israel and Iran. Well, they're back to bombing each other this morning. The ceasefire he bragged about didn't even last a day. And he's inserted us into this war with zero thought to the consequences. We're bombing Iran. Iran is bombing us. The risk of miscalculation is massive. And the entire Republican Party is just going along for the ride. Stephen Miller, a top administration official, is on TV talking about Donald Trump like he's Kim Jong-un. It's creepy. They say they're not in a cult. Now's your chance to prove it. Trump is doing literally the exact opposite of what he promised to do on his campaign. And instead of having the courage to say something, 99% of these guys suddenly decided they are in favor of endless wars. The mental gymnastics that takes is nuts. Mr. Speaker, if it looks like a cult, if it acts like a cult, maybe, just maybe, it's a cult. You know, I thought Republicans said that they were going to lower food prices. Food is just as expensive as it was 6 months ago, and now we're dragged into another war in the Middle East. This isn't America first. This is not even normal. It's nuts. This is an administration in way over its head, who thought ending a war was as easy as ranting on Truth Social. And now American troops and taxpayers are paying the price for their stupidity and carelessness. So let's be crystal clear. These strikes were illegal, unauthorized, and unconstitutional. No debate, no vote, no evidence of an imminent threat. That is not how this should work. If we're going to drop bombs and put American lives in danger, Republicans in Congress should be willing to come down here and have the courage to vote yes or no so that people know where they stand. Meanwhile, while families are bracing for gas prices to go up and dealing with food prices that never came down, these guys want Congress to ignore all of that and rubber stamp their big, ugly tax scam. A scam that hands tax breaks to billionaires while ripping food off kids' tables and health care out of seniors' hands. Mr. Speaker, these guys do not know what the hell they are doing, and America is paying the price. Trump said there would be a ceasefire forever, and it lasted one day. He said the big ugly bill won't touch Medicaid and won't screw over middle-class families. The bill cuts 16 million people off their health care and ransacks the food budgets of working people. Guess what? You can't trust him. You can't trust a word this administration says. We should be debating a war powers resolution. We should be talking about their awful, ugly bill that's working its way through the Senate. And instead, Republicans want business as usual, endless wars and tax cuts for the rich. Enough is enough. I urge a no vote, and I yield back. I reserve.
Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves, and I'll recognize the gentleman from Georgia.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I know it pains my colleagues to say that, President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, for his decisive action. And I want to thank him for calling both sides out on the ceasefire. And I want to just point out to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that as of right now, the ceasefire is holding. And most of the world wants that ceasefire to hold. And when you want to talk about a cult, the cult would be the people who hate Donald Trump so bad that they want the ceasefire to fail. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Georgia reserves, and I'll recognize the gentleman from Massachusetts.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, let me just remind my colleagues again about what's happening here. Trump said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one. He didn't. Last time I checked, it's still going on. He said he wouldn't get us into another war. He just did. He said there was a ceasefire that would last forever. There wasn't. And he said his bill won't kick people off of Medicaid, and it will. 16 million people are about to lose their health care. And it's going to adversely impact rural areas even more so because of what he's doing. And you know what he's been doing since midnight? He's been on Truth Social. He's posted nearly 30 times since midnight on Truth Social. First of all, declaring victory and everything is beautiful, and then retweeting posts, calling for him to get the Nobel Peace Prize. He's more interested in getting an award than he is in protecting people's health care. They're making sure that people in this country have enough to eat, that children don't go hungry. I mean, these priorities, maybe they're your priorities, they're not my priorities. I think they're all screwed up. And Mr. Speaker, if we defeat the previous question, I will offer an amendment to the rule to bring up H.R. 2753, the Hands-Off Medicaid and SNAP Act, which would block the Republicans from cutting Medicaid or SNAP benefits and kicking people off these life-saving programs as part of their reconciliation bill. Last month, House Republicans jammed through their multi-trillion-dollar tax scam by a one-vote margin. And as a reminder, this bill includes the largest ever cut to food assistance and will strip health care from 16 million Americans, all while adding $3.3 trillion to the debt. I mean, some Republicans didn't even know what was in the bill when they voted for it. Yet when they had the chance for a revote 2 weeks ago, because they screwed it up the first time, they voted to cut Medicaid and SNAP again. Now, as we stand here debating unrelated immigration measures, Senate Republicans are moving forward with their version of the big ugly bill. And because House Republicans broke so many rules when they passed their bill the second time, they're going to have to vote on it a third time when it comes back from the Senate. Now, miraculously, due to their own ineptitude, Republicans have given themselves yet another opportunity to protect health care and SNAP for millions of Americans. Let's see if they vote this time to bring up the Hands-Off Medicaid and SNAP Act.